Happy TQIF, folks. The first thing we're going to take a look at tonight is an article from the Daily Star Trek News. Now, this involves the second season of Star Trek Picard. I'm just going to read this article, and Starfleet Boy's here with me as well, and we're gonna comment on the article itself.
I just want to say that intro was so cool. Like, I kind of want to use that on Starfleet Boy After Dark. So good. Good job.
Yeah, I made that music with a program like 10 years ago. It's weird.
So good. You're so much talented. Well, while you read the article, I'm going to go tweet out some stuff.
Yep. Okay. So this article is from Daily Star Trek News, and it was written by Allison Pitt, and it was posted February 17th, 2021. Evidence mounts that Star Trek Picard Season 2 is in production. No official word yet. And there's Michelle Hurd as Raffi. Is filming on Star Trek Picard Season 2 imminent? Yes. Has it started? We don't know for sure. Here's the lowdown. There is mounting evidence that Star Trek Picard production has started, but we haven't had an official word. Today's latest, actor Michelle Hurd posted an image on Instagram with the letter-bound notebook, black face mask, and placard marked Raffi. She captioned the image, "Back to work and it feels good." And there's the image on Michelle Hurd's Instagram. It says "Back to work and it feels good." So it's safe to assume that they're going to start filming. That's off the back of the drama yesterday when the new showrunner for Picard, Terry Matalas, posted a Picard GIF on Twitter.
Oh, I saw that.
It was of the scene when he and Data were playing cards, and he said to Data, "I don't want the game to end," and the Matalas captioned it, "Day one of many. For that, you'll just have to take my word," since he deleted the tweet moments later and replaced it with one saying, "Last tweet redacted by Section 31," and there it is. And of course, both of these follow on from original reports that Picard Season 2 would start filming first in January and then early February, and then, according to 7 of 9 actor Jerry Ryan, soon. It's worth noting a couple of salient points. Picard is expected to film in Los Angeles, which is reopening steadily as COVID-19 cases improve.
Oh, I thought they were going to film Season 2 in Canada.
No, Picard, Season 1 and 2 of Picard is all LA.
All Los Angeles? Oh, cool.
California. And Strange New Worlds, and I believe even Lower Decks is produced primarily in Vancouver, I believe. That's the animation studio there, and as well as Discovery. But I think it has to do with Patrick Stewart not wanting to move to Canada. Like, he's pretty comfortable where he is. He loves California, and he's loved it for a long time, so it's not a place he would want to leave.
I don't... I think it's fine. I mean, it's Patrick Stewart. Do what the man wants.
Film and television production has allowed with modifications since last summer, but the risk is still high for older people like Picard star Sir Patrick Stewart. Also, as of today, it's been 28 days now, since Stewart posted that he had received his COVID-19 vaccine. The vaccines in use in California need a booster after 21 to 28 days, according to that state's COVID-19 website. So it could be sometime before Picard himself is on set. And of course, there's still been no official word from CBS as to whether filming has started, and in fact, we don't always get official word. We'll have to wait and see. If you're in the mind to follow every twist and turn of the Star Trek Picard Season 2 filming saga, and this is good advice, now's a good time to start following folks on social media. And of course, as soon as we get more official word, Daily Star Trek News will let you know. And that article was written, again, by Allison Pitt. So there you go. Any comments on that, Starfleet Boy? Any thoughts?
Yeah, so even though there's no official announcement, there's a lot of evidence that it started filming, which makes me really happy. I'm excited. I'm a huge fan of Star Trek Picard, and the more Star Trek Picard, the merrier the Starfleet Boy is. So I'm excited.
And just a note, we're getting 5 Star Trek TV shows in production in the year 2021. So that's amazing. You get Star Trek Discovery, which is in production, filming now. Picard, which is starting to film now. And very soon, any day now, I guess, Strange New Worlds. And two of those live action shows are taking place in Canada. One in the United States, and as well Lower Decks Season 2 and Prodigy Season 1. So that's
an exciting time for Star Trek fans and Star Trek in general.
I have a bunch of comments here.
Yeah, Father's on his way. Starfleet.
Braxton, Earl Grey,
what
Tricky.
Up? I'm surprised Braxton came to your stream after you yelled at him yesterday.
I wasn't serious. But he's like, oh shit, he's calling me out. I'm like, what is that? I'm not a conspiracy theorist. What are you talking about?
I don't know you to be a conspiracy theorist. We may talk sometimes about conspiracies, but we're not conspiracy theorists.
Ooh,
I don't think.
Father, he's on his way. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is another article I want to bring up. I won't read the whole thing this time, but guess who's coming to guess what legacy character is coming to Prodigy? Well, he's a guest. He was a guest star, really.
I already know.
Oh, you do? Who is it?
Yeah, Thaddeus O'Connor.
Damn, you're good.
Nah, it was on the internet. It was on Twitter. I think Trek Central broke it, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true. Trek Central did actually. Yeah, they were the first ones that I saw, and they had the evidence to back it up and all this. He was on a podcast. Anyway, Billy Campbell.
Actually, I listened to the podcast just to verify it. I didn't have to, but I thought it was fun.
Yeah, and he spilled the beans, basically. Billy Campbell talks reprising and redeeming his O'Connor character in Star Trek Prodigy, and there he is from that episode, The Outrageous O'Connor. I'm just going to read the first... I'm just going to read this part here. Where Animated O'Connor. In a new extended podcast interview celebrating the 30th anniversary of The Rocketeer with Comic Book Central. By the way, I loved The Rocketeer when I was a kid. The discussion got onto the subject of Star Trek while talking about how he is a fan of the franchise. Campbell revealed that he's going to be returning to it to voice the character he created back in 1988. Man, it was that long ago. I love Star Trek, the original series, The Next Generation. I wouldn't say... This is him talking now. I wouldn't say that I was like super, super Trekky, but I definitely love Star Trek. It didn't thrill me, and it thrills me still to be a part of Star Trek, the Star Trek universe. And the sort of fun thing is that I just recently signed on. I think it's on Nickelodeon's or somewhere. He's not sure, right? They're doing something called Star Trek Prodigy, and it's animated. It's a comedy. It's an animated series. And it should be like a cool opening, like Star Trek Prodigy coming to get you, click your Klingon ass.
By the way, Father Star Trek is here.
Oh, he is? Okay, well...
Yeah, that's what he says.
That's the gist of it. The Outrageous O'Connor is coming back to Star Trek Prodigy. And here we have Fathery.
Here's the Outrageous O'Connor, actually. He's here.
I just dug my way out of the snow of the Great Texas Blizzard to join my good friends.
Can you talk
PJ
about that
Sohel.
A bit? What's going on in Texas? Because not a lot of people are
situation
fully aware.
report, Captain.
Well, it depends on what part of the state, I guess. Like in El Paso, they're fine because they're on a different power grid, but the rest of the state had like a lot of blackouts. A lot of people losing electricity for 24, 48 hours or even longer in some cases. I was very lucky. I only had power go down for 12 hours this whole time. I have a lot of friends who didn't have any power for 2 days straight. And I didn't have running water until today because there's pipes bursting. None of our electrical grid was winterized. This has been more cold temperature. Like the most days this cold that's ever happened in recorded history. So it's even beyond once in a lifetime weather. It's like, well, this is the first time in recorded history that it's been like that cold for that long here. Like we don't have snow plows, we don't have like salt for the roads. Like our homes are insulated very differently. We don't have basements. Everything here is like designed like keep houses cool in the summer. So yeah, it was a major cluster.
Hey,
So was
Father,
the
why didn't you go to Mexico? I mean, it's warm down there and it's safe.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry,
like
I had
we
to.
did have Senator Cruz do that, but y'all know like he ain't like a real Texan. Like he's not from here.
No, we know.
He was born in PJ's shithole nation of Canada. So blame Ted Cruz on Canada, not Texas.
You love Canada.
I had
You
no
wanna
idea
move
he
to
was born in Canada.
Yeah.
That's
He reminds,
that's
he
one Canada
reminds me of a guy I
disowns.
grew up with named Bradley. He's like just like him. Like
He reminds me of that rat Templeton from Charlotte's Web. You know, like it's for real, like it's the same face and the same voice.
You talking about the one voiced by Steve Buscemi in the live action or quote unquote live action?
I didn't
version?
see the live action one with CGI. I didn't see that one, but the original one was voiced by some
the rat.
well-known funny man. But yeah, he has like that. Like he has like that Smorgasbord song when they go to the fair.
Oh, you're talking about the animated movie, right?
I'm not remembering.
The original.
From the, like the 80s.
But I believe you.
Yeah, I can't remember.
He is-
If I pull up the clip, can you show it?
yeah, I'm sure he could. Hey, can we just turn this into Starfleet Boy After Dark and go? We'll finally do the 8-hour stream you've always wanted to.
Can we just to warn the audience, we are going to talk about WandaVision, I guess.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I'm wearing my Mortal Kombat
But-
shirt too. If you want to talk about that.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. Can we talk about the Mortal Kombat trailer first? I'm not going to show any images from it, but just general impressions.
Can I say one weird sentimental thing?
Okay.
I just saw like one of the saddest mini limited series, and I just want to say that I'm really happy you're okay, and it's really nice to see both of y'all. That's it.
Is that
Cool.
my phone?
I think that was mine.
Okay, never mind.
Anyways,
Like-
I sent you a link in the private
Thank you.
chat to
Thank you.
Templeton the Rat.
A link to Templeton the Rat. Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at Templeton.
If you want to share the audio of this, they need to hear the rat voice.
Hold on, I gotta change the speed so I don't get a. Just change the speed slightly. Oh, that's Jeffrey Combs doing the voice of the rat.
No,
Did
it's
you
not
say that
Jeffrey
already?
Combs. It's not Jeffrey Combs.
It's
It's
not?
No, it's like. What the hell is this dude's name? I need to look up the actual actor.
Okay, I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna show it.
Okay, I think
I'm
you'll
gonna
be
show the
safe.
screen. We're gonna get a look at the animated Charlotte's Web movie from back in the day. Oh wait, I forgot to share audio. Damn it. I gotta stop.
Yeah, it was.
I gotta
This is
do
the
it
guy who
again.
did the voice.
We're gonna get to WandaVision and the Mortal Kombat trailer in a second.
All in due time.
Have patience.
Mortal Kombat. Do. Can we play that like techno song? Are we allowed to? From the 90s
go.
or whatever.
I am the chosen one. All right.
Hey, that's a really
It's
neat
showing up.
background there. There it is.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
You gotta
Let's,
full screenize it.
This is Senator Ted Cruz of Texas.
Pig's ass.
my humble Wilbur.
That's his voice.
Charlotte,
Look, that's his face. That's Ted Cruz's face right there.
This will be a night to remember.
Oh my goodness. And this is slowed down a little. The speed's changed. Oh,
okay,
I love that kind
that's
of
a bit. It's a bit too loud. Why is it?
Tell me that don't look and sound just like him, though.
I don't know what happened, but
It's-
that was really loud. I apologize if that was too loud.
Yeah, I don't think it was
Oh,
loud
it's kind of
enough.
fun on our end.
But okay, Mortal Kombat trailer. What'd you think
All
of
right.
it, Fathery? You go first.
It was very good. It was,
you a fan
I think,
of the game
best
growing up?
case scenario. I was a fan of the game on Sega Genesis. I kind of haven't played Mortal Kombat at all after the first 3. I might have dabbled here and there, but yeah, it was actually it was a game that I probably played the most outside of Sonic on the original Genesis. Was the original Mortal Kombat, and I played 2 and 3 a good bit, but the first one I played the most. I was a fan of the movie. I don't think the movie holds up terribly well, but I loved it when it came out in '95, right?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure 95.
But when you started, talking about this new Mortal Kombat movie, you were the first person that put it on my radar. And I have to admit, I was always like a little skeptical. But some of the things that you said made it sound like really good. Saying that they were gonna like lean in like the fatalities and brutalities, and it was gonna be like a hard R. And it's like, oh, okay. And I was wondering, like, but will they still like embrace like the fun stuff, like the '90s movie, because it is fairly iconic. Possibly like the best video game based movie yet. There haven't been many that are not terrible. And I think that this trailer shows that, yeah, it could definitely like embrace a lot of the fun energy, that bigger than life, heightened kind of campiness. But it's also like leaning into this fantasy element of it. Of it's not going to try to like walk away from like some of like the more like fantastical, magical sides to it. It's just going to be like, nope, like here's some straight up magic shit, or like, oh, here is a dude with robot arms. And it's really going to embrace that, and that's what I think is most exciting.
Have you there was a web series that went really dark with the material that was decent. It was okay for a web series, and there's been other iterations. The web series, by the way, had Jerry Ryan, I believe, as Sonya.
I remember
Sonya Blade.
hearing about that.
And
that's pretty cool. Wasn't there a cartoon? There was a cartoon you said too, right? Like a
there was a cartoon. There was a live action series.
There's that
Mortal
one
Kombat.
period piece.
There's a live action Mortal Kombat series.
Yeah,
it
it's
was
Canadian produced.
It was set in the
Oh.
past. It was like
Mortal
Liu
Kombat
Kang's
Legacy.
ancestor or something.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Who I think is actually a character in this movie. I noticed that they added this new character named Cole, who a friend on Facebook pointed out is actually an invention of the movie. And that's probably the one thing I might be a little iffy about, is like, why do they like create like this new character? It's sometimes weird when properties do that. They create like this new point of view character.
There's a really dumb line in the trailer. It's the only thing in the trailer that I found like stupidly funny. Is when he's like, "It's a birthmark. What's that? It's something he was born with." It's like, huh? Why are they stating such an obvious thing? And other people pointed that out too. They're like, "What? Wait.
Yeah, who doesn't know what a birthmark is?
Yeah, what are you, like, crazy?" I don't know. Maybe it was just weirdly edited for the trailer, but it just seemed like stupid.
But there's cool lines in there. It had like Kano wins and like that type of stuff.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that because it has
Finish him.
It has a dark, gritty, visceral, and violent reality to it, because what they're showing you in this Red Band trailer isn't even the juiciest stuff you're gonna see. And just that last little battle between Scorpion and Sub-Zero,
Like,
it's just so,
Red Band.
just those few seconds they show is so creative and so well done, and in not only serious but fun, but its own thing, but also a great tribute to the game at the same time. And like how Jax loses his arms, like they put that in the narrative. They're talking about how they've encountered Sub-Zero, this guy who like freezes stuff, and how he puts his hand on the gun and freezes the blast, and then like freezes his arm, and that's how Jax loses his arms. I mean, I thought the trailer was fucking amazing.
Sub-Zero was my favorite character too.
Yeah.
When I played the game, I always played as Sub-Zero. Ironic that it's been like Sub-Zero temperatures, almost like I never got actually below zero. Got like single digits, which is unheard of for us. Talking about Fahrenheit, it was Sub-Zero Celsius, I guess. But I've always I remember like the first time I ever played Mortal Kombat. It was on like the arcade machine at Pizza Hut, back when they used to have like better food at Pizza Hut, and they had like arcade cabinets there and stuff. And for whatever reason, like that was just like the first character like I selected, and ever since then I just loved playing as Sub-Zero. They made that Sub-Zero game on the Nintendo 64 too. It wasn't even like a fighter. It was
Who's the best Mortal
side-scroller.
Kombat character?
Sub-Zero.
Raiden.
Raiden's cool.
I think Raiden's the best. That's my favorite.
You know, a lot of people like Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage is a fan favorite, and he ain't in the movie.
Yeah,
omitted.
what's up with that? Do you think? But he's not in it. Period, or like they're saving him for.
They're
They're
hoping
saving him for the film.
Well, they're hoping that if this movie is well received, they are going to build a Mortal Kombat cinematic universe. That's an actual thing they want to do, and they're definitely.
I didn't know there's a market for that. That's awesome.
Everything has to be a cinematic universe now.
But Mortal Kombat, a lot of people would argue that the Mortal Kombat is rich enough in its own mythology that you could really build something off of that. But I just want to see Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. You know, I just want to continue making good Mortal Kombat movies if this indeed is like really good, and of course like saving Johnny Cage for the sequel and certain other characters that may not appear. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. All I wanted to see was Scorpion and Sub-Zero, so I'm good.
I think we should...
guy with 4 arms. What's his name again?
Goro.
Goro.
Yeah.
You see a brief glimpse of him, and he looks decent.
Yeah, I guess they'll go CGI this time, and whereas in '95 it was a practical effect with, I guess, like puppetry.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I think we should resolve and vote to have TQIF become a cinematic universe. By the way, I was wondering if the audience had a moment to not only like this video, but if they wanted to, they could maybe tweet it out, those of you that have Twitter accounts, and share it so that more folks can come in and join in our fun as we go into the WandaVision section.
No, there's enough.
Are we allowed to do that?
already.
We're allowed to
No.
ask stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. All right, well, we might as well get
We don't
into
do
it.
enough of that on our streams.
WandaVision Episode 7 discussion. Spoilers. Let's do it. Let's go around. I'm gonna start with my initial thoughts. You get the Starfleet boy and then father, okay? It wasn't the best episode of the season. The first half of it I kind of thought was a bit boring. It was held up by the chemistry between Paul Bettany and Kat Dennings. I liked the fact that two of them were together throughout the entire episode. It was kind of a lull before the big battle, I think. But when it got into that second part with Monica Rambeau and infiltrating the what do they call it? What do they call the big bubble now?
The Hex.
The Hex.
Yeah, 'cause it's a
Once
big
she gets in the
hexagon.
Hex and she's displaying powers and stuff, and there's all that tension, and then they reveal at the end with
It was Agatha all along.
I love that song.
weird. It's weird.
It was Agatha all along. That was
But
predicted. Agatha.
even though this is not like my
Yeah.
favorite episode, it's still a good episode though. What? Like, it's not bad. So anyway, Starfleet boy, go ahead.
I like that it was only 37 minutes long. That, first of all, which also, by the way, which meant it was 30 minutes long because the end credits are 7 minutes long for each of these, which is insane.
Well, that's because Disney Plus does like everything in like every language, and they have to tape on like that after credits where it has
Seven,
like
yes.
here's all like the German voices and here's the Italian voices. And...
I thought it was also, you know, maybe not the. I can't. To me, WandaVision doesn't have like a. It's like all the episodes kind of like, I think, are just so good that I don't like doing the whole like, for this show I like doing it, but for this show I'm like torn. I'm like, it just feels like it's like perfect for this episode, and I like that they only did a 30-minute thing. I like that it was like a huge kind of reveal, and it's getting really weird too inside the Hex. Like, things are getting really weird, and I love that Vision and Darcy are teaming up. There's only 2 more episodes, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep.
It reminds me of
So what do you
how
think is
we were
causing the
watching-
glitchiness?
I think that, well, so at the end, what does she
Isn't
go
that
down
ironic?
and-
There was a glitch just then as I was talking about
Yeah, it was
glitchiness.
really strange. That's Sword doing that.
Go
Okay,
sorry,
so
guys.
at the end she goes down into the basement, and that's where Agatha Harkness reveals herself. And the basement seemed kind of like a weird dungeon place. Was there technology there? What were those? Didn't have a chance to watch it a second time.
It was
but
magical
what's going
stuff.
on
It was like
Yeah, it
demonic
was like-
stuff.
Yeah, magic.
demonic stuff.
Oh,
Okay.
Agatha Harkness is a actual character from the Marvel comics.
I
She's
think
a
it
witch, right?
relies.
Yeah, she's like this old witch lady in the comics. Like and like maybe she's like older than shit here, but she just like appears younger with like a spell. Is what I'm
So
guessing.
whatever spell they were using on Wanda, they were using it to create the hex. So that's Wanda's power, right? Because we know that because she extended it. She's able to like pause people. She's able to like do all this stuff. So there somehow that's falling apart. That's what I think of the glitchiness, is that they no longer, whoever's controlling her, Agatha Harkness, I guess, or whatever, no longer has the ability to control her. So she's starting to like not do everything as perfect as you normally. She's like fighting it a little bit, like it's starting to fall apart or whatever. And I think that's why Agatha's forced to reveal herself, right? Like at the end, because especially when Rambeau comes in and like shakes everything up, like so.
Wouldn't it? Yeah, it's to go on that point. It's almost like, okay, Wanda created the hex, but Agatha infiltrated it for whatever reason, and now the powers are conflicting because for Wanda's unraveling, therefore her powers are affected. On top of Agatha, I think I don't know what Agatha's doing. Like, I really don't know her motive yet.
Maybe she wanted the boys. Maybe
There's something to
she's-
do with the kids, man. Something's up with them kids. I don't know what. I know there's comic stuff that explains them, but I don't know what they're gonna do in the show. It's just
I knew
such
she
a
killed
mystery.
Sparky, by the way. I knew she killed Sparky. I was like,
Yeah, that was so great too how they did that with like, and I killed Sparky too, or whatever she says. Well, I was always suspicious of that happening, and I think last week when we were talking about how it had that scene where Vision finds Agnes crying in the car, and I said like that might have been like a red herring, like throw us to make us think that like she's actually part of the victims that are like under control from Wanda. But I was like, oh, they might have just done that to like trick us, and it looks like that was the case. So we now have like our big bad of the season revealed out in the open. I think like the next 2 episodes are going to be about the defeating her, rescuing Wanda, rescuing the twins.
There was a really
it's
good
good.
part. My favorite part in the whole episode is when Monica Rambeau confronts, shows up, and Wanda's just like instantly just pushes her away like really quickly. It's almost like you kind of, there's a sense of danger with Wanda. You don't trust exactly what she'll do next. I mean, they build up. Obviously, she hasn't done anything absolutely terrible out in the open in front of us as an audience, but there's always that potential lingering there that she could snap. You know what I mean? And when she won't even listen
But
to
I think
Monica,
that-
and she's just instantly antagonistic. And when she's walking away from her, she's like, "Don't make me hurt you," like a crazy.
She does start to listen to her a little bit. She
bit.
does
Yeah, she
calm
definitely
down
doesn't-
for a little bit, and that's when Agatha or Agnes, Agatha disguised as Agnes, comes in and interferes.
Yeah.
By the way,
Also,
it's kind of dumb that like she is called herself Agnes all along, because the only reason why she didn't just call herself Agatha all along is because like the comic book readers would have been like, oh, this must be Agatha Harkness.
Harkness,
So that's the
yeah,
only
it was
reason why they
definitely-
changed the name. I wonder if there's going to be like an in-universe explanation of like why she was going by Agnes instead of Agatha.
What happened to her kids?
Um,
She killed Sparky. That's right. We talked about that. Where's Ralph? We still haven't met Ralph, right? The husband.
I think he doesn't exist. I
Yeah,
think
he
there
might
is
not
no
even
Ralph.
exist. So Monica Rambeau started showing some of her
Maybe he's
abilities,
Lucifer.
I guess. Like, it
Could be.
It's
Actually,
probably-
Agatha Harkness does have a kid in the Marvel universe. He's Nicholas Scratch. He's also like an evil magic user, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So she did maybe have a husband at one point in time. I don't remember who Nicholas Scratch's father was, unless it might have actually
Was it
been the devil.
Mephisto or
It might
was
have been.
Mephisto?
Yeah,
Or the
I'm not
magical
sure.
Mr. Mistopheles?
I'll have to
Just kidding.
I'll have to brush up on some of these. These are like obscure characters that haven't like shown up a lot. So I'd have to go and research on
Um,
what do you
my
think of
Marvel
Darcy?
Unlimited app.
I think Darcy's great with the team up with her and Vision is great.
I wanted them to acknowledge that like they both know Thor. I wanted them to say that like, oh yeah, we both know Thor. But
He was trying
it
to-
never comes up.
Yeah, he was trying to like figure out how he knew her though. Like remember he was that.
Well,
that
they've
would've been a
never
good
met.
opportunity to do it.
They've
Right, but
never
he-
they've never been in the
coulda
same
heard
movie.
That's true. He could have heard about her. I don't know.
Well, by the way,
the
Paul
other-
Bettany
yeah.
has teased an epic cameo in the show at some point, which hasn't materialized yet. Some people thought he might have been talking about Pietro, but
Possibly.
it's not.
I don't
Well,
think it's
that's
Pietro.
technically bigger than a cameo. Like, that was a full on like guest star.
Yeah, that was a guest
Exactly.
star. Yeah, that was like a. I think the cameo is going to be at the
Paul
last
Bet-
episode, and it seems more likely that it's going to be Doctor Strange than anything else.
That's
Yeah,
what we're
well,
all
I don't
thinking.
want to spoil your fun, but Paul Bettany said it's an actor he's been wanting to work with his whole life, so that
What?
indicates that it may be an older. It may be an older.
It's Sir Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
It's
Exactly,
gonna be
you
Ian,
could-
Ian McKellen. It's gonna be Ian McKellen.
Yeah,
as,
either way.
as,
Let's see if
Magneto.
Paul Bettany. I'm gonna go look at who Paul.
It could be a big actor who is not a character at all in the MCU. Or, yes, you know what I mean. Like it's just like a new person they introduce who happens to be played by a huge older actor, whoever that may be. So I don't know. They
What
haven't
did y'all think
appeared
about
yet.
that sting at the end with Pietro? He's like, Snooper's gonna snoop.
The Sting?
Wait, there's an actor.
Did you see that? Like after the credits, there's like
No,
that
I
whole
don't-
other
I don't
scene.
watch after the credits. No.
Oh.
Well, you gotta sit through that 37 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
Oh shit! Damn it!
Y'all
gotta
didn't
go
even
watch
see it.
this
Y'all don't even know what I'm
thing.
talking about.
No, so let us know.
Well, Monica is like snooping around Agnes's house and is like open up like the door to go down to her basement, and then Pietro like runs up and like grabs her, and he's like, "Snooper's gonna snoop," and then it ends, just cuts off. And it looks like he's being evil, but I think he's actually being good. We don't know.
But it's not the
Yeah.
whole Wanda series a lead-in for the film. It is true. In fact, they're filming the movie now with Elizabeth Olsen. in
Sam
London.
Raimi directing.
Sam Raimi. I can't wait to see Sam Raimi's interpretation.
He's gonna have fun
Of,
with that.
He will.
He is gonna have so much fun. It's just gonna be bonkers with MCU. Imagine like Sam Raimi with like MCU level budget, just being able to go nuts.
It's gonna be great.
Really, especially with the visual effects aspect of it and the fact that Sam Raimi is an extremely imaginative director. If you just look back in his films like Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, even the first two Spider-Man films. I don't know about Spider-Man 3, but he even had that kind of goofy, fun horror movie called Me to Hell. That wasn't too
Drag
bad.
me to hell, yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested to see what he's going to do, man. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And really and truly, like his Spider-Man movies kind of inspired the
Shishan
MCU.
Girl asks. Yeah, back
Has he
when
worked with
Spider-Man, the
Benedict?
first Spider-Man was made, there weren't big superhero movies. Maybe Blade was around.
X-Men had been the
Yes,
biggest
but
thing until Spider-Man 1.
X-Men, yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch might be in the show at some point. It would be cool to see him at the end because if it is a lead into WandaVision. But Paul Bettany, I think, is talking about a specific actor that shows up at some point, and maybe he's just full of crap and there won't be anything. But an older actor, male, female, we don't know, who's gonna be noticeable, and it's an epic level kind of cameo. So who knows? Ian McKellen as Magneto, fake
I think-
Magneto.
It could be either Ian McKellen or Patrick Stewart. I feel like because
But I
they're
don't. I still don't think they're gonna like merge the Fox X-Men stuff into the MCU.
Yeah, exactly. There's no evidence of that so far. It was a misconception that he was the real, actual Quicksilver from the X-Men movies.
Yeah.
Some people were still like up in the air about it, like weren't really decided. Is this a trick or like is this real or what? Is this like is he actually from another dimension? But it turns out it's not true. So they could
Earl Grey
totally do
Trekkies-
whatever they want with the X-Men now.
Earl Grey Trekkie saying we never get to see the aerospace engineer Monica Tees, but we do. That was the lady who brought the moon buggy.
Yeah, the space rover. It's like
Space rover,
we
yeah.
landed a new rover on Mars yesterday that
I know,
actually
that's cool.
is actually going to be able to return. It's going to be able to blast off on Mars and bring us back a rock.
By the way, we're going to talk about the Mars and the space rover on Starfleet Boy After Dark. If you want to hop on that tonight, among other things.
Does anybody have any?
Or this might
final
just
thoughts
turn into
on
Starfleet Boy
WandaVision?
After Dark.
Well, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, just that.
And before you, and
A
just,
lot
just sorry to cut you off, but after this, I just wanted to get your guys' opinion on a Disney Plus expansion, if that's okay. But anyway, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
I think that this episode was good because, like, a lot of stuff happened and also nothing happened. It was a very good balance of like, distraction and comedy and continuing with the theme of like TV shows. And we didn't even talk about that. To me, it felt like Modern Family, like the show that they were like parodying, right? What was it? Like those kinds of shows, right? Like Modern Family, The Office.
Opening was parodying,
Yeah,
yeah, The Office. Yeah.
The Office is what
Office.
started it, which I
Yeah.
hate. I hate these like modern sitcoms that do like the talk to camera thing. I don't. There's not one of them that I find tolerable.
I really, really wish that they had chosen to do a Big Bang Theory vibe. I guess that would have been cool, but I guess maybe that's later. It's probably
Well,
still.
no, Big Bang Theory is kind of a throwback to like the older like laugh track type
I guess
style
it's true.
of sitcoms.
It's true. So yeah, it makes sense that it was like this. It was a good choice. Anyways, I liked all that, and then of course all these big reveals are very exciting. I think that the last two episodes are going to be just like really, really fun and good, and I'm looking forward to like I don't really know who to me all those things like cameos and whoever will be cherries on top because it's already a great series, and I can't imagine it's going to end in a bad way. I'm very excited to see what happens.
All right, Father.
Well, I think one of the testaments to the quality of the show, as much as I heard some people complain about the beginning, how some big MCU fans actually were saying like, oh, they're like, this isn't what I wanted in the show, and I don't really like this old black and white 50s, 60s stuff. But the best testament to the show that I've experienced is the fact that my girlfriend Antonia enjoys watching the show, that she was like heartbroken today when we get to like that cliffhanger that y'all didn't even see the after the credits, and she was like, oh my god, I have to wait a week to see what happens next. She has no interest in the Scarlet Witch or Vision at all. She's watched some MCU movies, doesn't really care for them. Not a big superhero person, but the show is like so well made and is so creative and so new and outside of the box that she's been able to really enjoy the story and is dying to see what happens next, just like the rest of us. So I think that's a huge testament to the quality, and this is exactly what I want them to do with these MCU TV shows. We've had 20 years of like these like big budget modern superhero movies. They need to do these more creative things, get outside of the box, experiment, go weird, and I'm very, very happy to see them doing that. I think it speaks to the confidence that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios has in their Disney Plus shows, that they would start with a really weird one like this. Instead of doing like the more safer, probably like Falcon and Winter Soldier show that's coming up soon. So I'm very happy and excited and eager to see not only these remaining 2 episodes, but just the continuation of the MCU on Disney Plus.
I want to add just one more thing before you end the segment, PJ, which is The reveal of that Nexus commercial. We know someone explained it to me, but I've heard this a little bit that Wanda is a Nexus, that she exists like across all universes the same, and that she can also like manipulate things across universes or whatever. But I also think, knowing that Kevin Feige is a fan of Star Trek, that it's 100% a reference to the Nexus itself from Star Trek, because the same kind of thing happens in the Nexus that's happening in the Hex, right? Like it's like a fantasy world, and like you kind of control it, and time doesn't exist in the same way. And it was like, I loved that commercial because for me it felt like another little nod to Star Trek, just like Endgame.
Yeah.
When I saw that commercial, all I heard in my head was like PJ's voice going, "Time is the fire in which we
In
burn."
which we burn, it's true.
Yes. Right now, Captain, my time is running out. All right. Well, that was one of. I agree with everything you guys said. You guys are like so on point. I really don't have anything to add to that besides, it's the greatest guessing game of a TV show that I've seen in a long time, and it's very tricky because sometimes when they have these big mystery boxes, and just like head scratching plots and whatnot, that can fall apart very easily, depending on which way they handle it. They handle it very well. On Tuesday, the last thing we're going to talk about before I let you guys go is Disney Plus is expanding. Now we have Paramount Plus coming in March, but a lot of people don't seem to be like very much aware of the fact that Hulu is being added to Disney Plus in the US and in the UK.
We can stop paying for Hulu?
I don't know the price plan yet. Well, this
Okay, go ahead,
article
sorry.
from Mobile Syrup. I'll just read a bit of this first, and we can comment on it. Here's Disney Plus Canada's full star content launch lineup. I won't read the whole lineup, but just the basic setup. In December, Disney revealed that it would finally roll out its US and Japan only streaming service, Hulu, to other international markets, including Canada. However, instead of launching Hulu as a separate platform in these countries, Disney is bringing the service content to Disney Plus via a new branded section called Star on February 23rd. In particular, Star will feature more adult-oriented fare in stark contrast to Disney Plus's family-friendly skewing content up until this point. Disney Plus will add new parental controls on February 23rd to ensure that kids' profiles cannot access age-inappropriate content without a PIN. Now, Disney has confirmed that Star will launch over 150 TV series and more than 500 movies in Canada, increasing to nearly 800 by the end of 2021. A good portion of this content will be older shows like Family Guy, X-Files, 24, Criminal Minds, and classic films like Die Hard, Alien, Daredevil Wears Prada. But there will also be Star originals that will be exclusive to Disney Plus in Canada and I guess Hulu in the United States. So, guys, are you looking forward to like adult content on Disney Plus, eh?
Well, I don't know if that's going to change in the United States. I think we'll still have Hulu as a separate app.
No, the way it will work is that on February 23rd, you will open your Disney Plus app and there will be a Hulu extension. Now, whether you have to purchase that or not.
Like a link to Hulu from
Like
within
what you're
Disney.
saying? Hulu?
It'll be like a link to Hulu from within the Disney interface.
Just like you have the Star Wars tab and you have the National Geographic tab, and but in Canada and the UK, it won't be Hulu, it will be Star.
Got it.
Because there are different licensing agreements due to Bell Media's reach.
I feel like it's going to just be Disney Plus one day. Like, oh, there'll be a Netflix tab on Disney Plus. There'll be like a Paramount or a Star Trek tab on Disney Plus. It's.
I hope not.
Awesome.
They don't need to buy anything else.
I feel like they're gonna do it though.
I felt
they
like
don't need to do it. They're gonna.
I had my fingers crossed that like the courts were gonna stop them from buying Fox because that was too much.
All the Alien movies will be on there. All the Planet of the Apes movies, like a lot X-Files, Family Guy, and it's weird to see Disney Plus because we're so used to now. We've had it for it's been around for over a year, but we're just so used to it being family friendly to the point where they actually edit their own films. Like
That's why they don't need to own any more stuff.
the Adventures, and they should just move all the films that they censor on Disney Plus. I believe they should just move over to the Star or Hulu thing. Like Adventures in Babysitting is a PG movie, but it has 2 instances of the word fuck. It has "don't fuck with the babysitter" or "don't fuck with me, don't fuck with the babysitter," and they say they replace it with "fool" when you watch it on Disney Plus. Daryl Hannah's butt crack is covered by CGI hair in a PG movie called Splash. So I guess
Splash.
I understand that, but anything that's problematic, move it over. They even have the warnings for Dumbo and stuff like, you're gonna watch Dumbo. There's outdated things in this movie. Watch out. Tobacco use and racial insensitive racial things.
I watched I watched the Muppet Show. They put the original Muppet Show on Disney Plus.
Yes,
And
so awesome.
I watched some of it right before coming on here, and they had like a warning of like this includes tobacco use.
Earl Trek is right. You should have a kids profile option for inappropriate TV. That would be cool. Like when you create your profile on Disney Plus, you can say
They do. They have
you
that.
do.
Yeah,
You do have
but
that. Okay.
Yeah, it's all.
It's all there.
They
Okay.
were talking about that they would have that in this before you click on like the link to go to like the Star expansion. It will have it'll not allow a kid's profile to do it unless they have like the secret pin.
And Disney Plus
Kids are
allows-
clever. We get the when I was a kid, I used to find all those secret pins.
I don't care what the hell the kids watch. It doesn't make a shit to me. So
and Logan will be on there and stuff like that. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
But I mean,
But
like
it's-
here in the States, they already have most of that stuff on Hulu, so it'll be fair. Because I have like the Disney Plus Hulu ESPN bundle, where like you get like all 3.
Yeah. In Canada, it's weird because we don't have Hulu or HBO Max or HBO Go or anything like that. Everything is through Bell Media. Like Crave has a combination of stuff that Viacom CBS owns, Warner Brothers owns. Like, so it's weird that when you get like CBS All Access, for example, the Canadian version, which is they only offer the cheap version, which is the $6 version. It has like barely anything on it. It's really sad to look at.
Yeah,
And I can't
that'll
imagine
change.
I can't imagine Paramount Plus being that much better considering
That's gonna be like the same stuff.
the exact same stuff as in the United States.
No, it's gonna be like the same stuff as like what you're getting on CBS All Access. I bet. I mean, they might be adding like some new content, but it's gonna mainly be the same app, the same.
They're going to add
service.
movies. What you can't get on CBS All Access. I don't know if the United States is different.
Yeah,
but
we have movies
Canada-
on it here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well,
but it's
I
not
don't
a
want
ton of
Paramount Plus
movies.
to suck in Canada.
But whenever like those contracts start expiring, like eventually like Bell Media is going to be in trouble because they're going to be like, oh, like all of the content is on, the Viacom CBS is putting all their stuff on Paramount Plus. Warner Brothers is putting all their stuff on HBO Max. Disney is putting like all like the Disney and Fox and all of that huge umbrella all on Disney Plus. Eventually the Universal the Peacock is a GE Universal, whatever parent company owns that. Eventually, they're going to grow their platform, and all of their stuff is going to be on Peacock. And yeah, Bell Media is just going to be screwed. And so is Netflix. Netflix is going to be screwed because they're not going to have enough original stuff.
Netflix won't be screwed. What are you talking about? How would Netflix is like the dominant?
Because they're all
one now.
licensed. So most of their stuff is licensed, and all these studios are now creating their own networks. And when those licenses expire, they may not allow Netflix to have it.
They might end up merging with someone. Is a possibility.
Amazon Prime, I think does.
I think if
Amazon
Netflix
Prime
were
Canada
smart, they would do games next.
Netflix
games. Yeah, and get ready for the virtual world.
Where you stream games.
That's the one.
Bandwidth isn't quite there yet.
That's the one huge advantage Disney has over Netflix is that they don't pay licensing fees out the wazoo like Netflix does. Netflix, most of their budget goes to things that they did not create just to keep them on the service because People like
Yeah.
binging shows like The Office or Friends. Like Crave just recently got Friends. I can't imagine how much they paid for that. But yeah, it's crazy.
They'll be around for a lot longer because I mean, like they are ramping up all their original content, but in addition to that, there's always going to be some license available for maybe the next 10 years. I think they're going to be okay. I don't know. I'm guessing.
But no one else is
I don't
going
have
to be
any-
dealing with that. Like Paramount
Yeah.
Plus isn't going to be paying licensing fees. Eventually, like HBO, they have licensed content on HBO now, but eventually, like people are going to stop, licensing their stuff to them, and it'll just be
Right. That's
only.
true.
But I mean, like there's enough like Warner Brothers, New Line Cinema content, to fill up an entire streaming service. Yeah, everyone will just have like their own stuff.
Yeah, and they might start making deals with some of these other like what is that one that you can see all these British shows through the
BritBox.
BritBox, I think. Yeah, who knows? They can merge with the BritBox and bring a whole new bunch of shows on board and stuff like that. I do think also again they seem to be ramping up their original. I see a ton more original content from independent content from other countries. Even like I'm dying to watch that science fiction movie. I don't know if y'all have seen that. What's it called? It's kind of. Have you seen it? It's like I think it's an Asian language film. And
Oh
it's like,
yeah, shit, I forget the name.
but it looks like kind of crazy, like futuristic. A
I
la
know, yeah.
a la they basically they scoop up garbage in Earth's atmosphere. That's like their job, like this crew, and they find this like child that's actually a bomb, like it's a little android bomb or something, and they can use it's like a very powerful weapon. And so now it's in their care, and it looks funny. It looks fun, and it's an original Netflix.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about, but
No, I've seen it in
Trailer,
the Netflix queue. Yeah, it looked really like expensive. It looks high end,
Cool.
science fiction stuff. But there's a show you've been watching, or you just watched recently, or miniseries, Starfleet Boy, called "It's a Sin," which is on Amazon Prime in Canada.
It's on
yet to watch.
HBO
Now
Max
everybody's
here.
talking about it, and it's how it tears your heart out and all this. I'm like,
It's so good. It's really good. Did you make it to episode 1? Did you get a chance to see episode 1?
no, I will watch episode 1 tonight. But I've been like binging Shameless like crazy because it's the last season, and I'm just watching the whole show all over again. But anyway, what is It's a Sin? Just what is the premise of it?
It just follows a group of it follows a group of young people from 1981 to all the way to 1991, so over a 10-year period. So right when these kids are kind of graduating, whatever the equivalent, and it's in England. So like when they're graduating, I guess secondary school, or high school, what we call high school here, I guess, to their college years. And most of the characters are queer, and so it just shows like basically how the AIDS crisis occurred in England. Like we've seen a lot of stories about it in America.
Can I just ask you what platform that is on in the States?
Yeah, HBO Max.
Okay. Just so I can put it in the caption there. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. So it follows their story, and it's just like something that like we don't see it. I don't think we've ever seen it from this perspective before, like a bunch of young people and growing, it's kind of 10-year span of their lives. So from their 20s to their 30s, plus it's produced by Russell T Davies, who it's written by, it's his show. It's made by Russell T Davies, who did Queer as Folk, which was also a phenomenal show. And actually I love that show, the British version. And this had like a more like an older person, like when Russell T Davies made Queer as Folk, he was like, it was a different perspective. It's a whole different vibe. This is like Queer as Folk takes place in the 90s and 2000s. And I would say that it's a spiritual successor. This series is a spiritual successor to that vibe. I feel like this could be the prequel almost to Queer as Folk, but it has a lot of the same kind of conventions and things like that. And he uses some of the same kind of melodrama, but he's just gotten so much better as a writer. And I think this is one of his, to me personally, this was a masterwork. Like it's a limited series. It's five episodes, and it tells a great story. It also puts things into historical perspective. Like I grew up a lot younger. So like when I was growing up, when the events of this film were happening, I was still a little kid. I was like 11 in 1991. So I remember these things like on the news, and I remember like people dying, and I remember all that, but I never like got the context of it. And this film did that for me for the first time. And I have friends who are older who are survivors, like who lost many friends and relatives in the 80s to AIDS. And now I always empathize with their sadness, but now, like, especially this one particular friend reminds me of a character in the film named in the series named Jill. And to me, it just like it like connected me to her story in a way that I never had before. And so it's a beautiful series. I could go on and on about it. So I highly recommend it. I will say that the series is very like it's a heavy series. So if you're not looking for if you're not looking to get emotional and cry, along with laughter and joy, maybe put it off till you're in a better state.
So you can watch that on HBO Max in the United States, Prime Video in the US, and as Earl Grey Trekkie is informing us, All 4 or Sky in the UK. So yeah, it sounds like something that would be hard to watch. There's a show I watched about the AIDS pandemic recently that's
Boys in the Band, right?
Well,
No.
No.
Sorry.
It's, Pose. There's 2 seasons of that,
Oh.
and the 3rd season got delayed. But I think it's a 3rd and final season because basically, I can't give spoilers, but it's a show where the characters, it's so void of hope, but hopeful at the same time. It's about characters. Basically, a lot of the main characters have HIV.
Yeah,
and
it's
set in the
similar.
80s, and they don't have long to live. So you're wondering like, what's going to happen to them? And the 2nd season ends in a certain way that like, you're just like, wow, like these people are going through some shit, dude. But the 1st season is a little bit more bubbly. Like there's a little bit more humor and fun to it. And then when it gets really into the AIDS pandemic stuff, it really becomes a downer, but not in a bad way, in like a very like kind of like blatant kind of like not in your face, but I guess a realistic way, because you look back on those times. I mean, that killed people fucking fast, dude, and like people really got sick very fast. And now it's still an issue, but it's not nearly as bad, you know.
It takes anywhere from 5 to the original. I think it takes anywhere from, I think, somewhere like around 5, maybe 8 years, 5 to 8 years on average for HIV to turn into AIDS. And once it turns into AIDS, it used to be a very horrifying kind of painful death, because you could die from all sorts of things, from like what normally would be STDs that you could cure or control would go rampant, or even like certain opportunistic cancers, even the common cold could turn into a host of things that would just like destroy your body. And you see in many films about the AIDS pandemic, you'll see like people get lesions and things like that, and it was legit totally like that. Thank goodness, if you are diagnosed with HIV, that today it's no longer a death sentence. You can actually like live out a full life. There's many people living today and managing HIV so that it never becomes AIDS. So thank goodness for that.
Magic Johnson has had it for like 30 years.
I know Magic Johnson. He was actually one of the first. I remember that from when I was a kid. Like everyone was so horrified and shocked when they found out that Magic Johnson had it. And but the thing that is important is that like, because we're in this stage where we are kind of able to manage it, we're back to kind of like some of the like, risky behavior that causes you to get it, and like the not being aware of your status, like those things are coming back. So I think this film, I keep calling it a film, I think this series was important because it also shows that side of it. Like it shows that like you can that like just having an ignorance of the disease is a bad thing. Like I don't want to spoil the series. Maybe we could talk about it more after you guys have seen it, because I'd love to talk about it more. But like, yeah, ultimately, like thank goodness the fate is not as dire, but you should get tested and know your status so that you know what to do, and so you can be responsible, with others.
And the best prevention is abstinence.
Always for anything, but yes.
For everything.
I suppose.
And some of us have no choice.
You are not. You do not have no choice, PJ.
I'm joking.
We're living in a pandemic. After the pandemic, I'm gonna be your wingman.
It's lonely
We're gonna
times
go
for everyone.
partying.
It's not, people
We're
are,
gonna go
people are
partying.
craving a hug.
I'm one of the best wingmen in the world, by the way, wing persons, and we're gonna go partying in Toronto or even in St. John, and you'll see, like, PJ, you're just gonna have a great time. That's
I hope.
You will. I have taken a vow of celibacy for 3 years. I'll tell you all more about that some other time, but I'm 1 year into it, and so it was very easy because of the pandemic. So 2 more years to go.
Yeah. There's good times ahead, folks. There's good times ahead.
It's true. I like some of the comments that came up from that discussion.
Yeah. Son of a Red Shirt says, Magic Johnson's been HIV positive for 30 years. Dude really earned the name Magic. I'm sorry to hear this, Braxton. His wonderful friend Eric died from AIDS complications on July 2019. And HIV is still a huge problem, yes.
Yep.
It's like Starfleet Boy said, you got to know your status. If you're out there sexually active, you should know. You should get regularly tested.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry to hear that, Braxton.
Yeah. We're gonna do Starfleet Boy After Dark tonight. What topics do you wish to discuss?
We're gonna talk about the thing I'm very excited about is Mars. I think we can, if Father will come on, we can talk more about Texas, and what's been going on over there. I think if anyone in the audience wants to talk more about WandaVision, it'll probably be just like, what do you think of this type questions, and we'll answer it, because we did a really good job talking about it here. And the usual wackiness. But I think we'll start early. Like, maybe what do you think, like,
do you think we can do that thing? Do you think we could do another script reading? I think people like that.
I 100% think so.
I'm going to do a montage of all the ones we did.
Yeah. In fact, I think we should have suggestions here.
Father's like, fuck no, I don't want to do this shit.
No, I totally want to do it.
He's great at it. Are you
I
kidding?
have fun
He's
doing
so
this.
good. Yeah, those
You were good as Kirk. You were doing the whole, I am Kirk.
All right, let's do this. So it'll give me time to have a dinner and make a martini. 8:45. Does that work for you guys in 45 minutes?
Yeah, it works.
Sure.
Father,
right.
You have nothing coming up tonight, but anything happening somewhere down the road?
Text Trek is frozen.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. No Text Trek content this week. I'm sorry. We just got live support systems back up to 100% today. So, I was kind of, if you go back and like watch some of the Boat Wreck or Starfleet Boy content from last week, though, you kind of see me like foreshadowing, and I was like, man, like it's never been this cold before here. So it was prophesized, I guess.
All right, well, catch us later on Starfleet Boy After. Did you have anything else to say? I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, that's it.
Well, check us out on Starfleet Boy After Dark if I'm still awake by then. That's only 45 minutes.
It's 45 minutes. We'll
have a couple of beer and we'll be back.
Yeah,
I can't drink like these guys. These guys, I think if we met in real life, you guys would drink me under the table like 5 times over.
Shishan Girl says I was too sober for the last script reading, so I will not disappoint you tonight. I'm gonna make a really stiff martini tonight.
Well, I have hardly any. I have like this much of peach flavored vodka. So that's all I can drink. That's literally the only alcohol I have.
Holy moly!
Out of everything,
we have to drop ship alcohol to you. What?
For supper tonight, I'm about to eat some macaroni and cheese and a can of Spam, because that's the last of my emergency ration food. Tomorrow I have to brave the icy roads to get new food.
We'll make that vodka last a long time, Father.
All right, until next time, folks.
This was fun.